about the Immutable X Developer Launch Rewards V2. Alina did do a bit of introduction, but by way of introduction, I'm Millie. I'm part of the success team here at Immutable, and I work with the developer community on all aspects of building a successful NFT project on Immutable X. I'm extremely pleased to be talking to you about what is our biggest token rewards program to date for developers, the Developer Launch Rewards V2, where we're rewarding projects that build and trade on Immutable X was up to 3.7 IMX tokens. Sorry, 3.7 million. Damn it, I did the bubble bar too early. Okay. Today, I'm going to be doing an overview of the project, then answering some frequently asked questions, and then we will open up to questions from the audience. So I did want to start by briefly talking about why we are doing these rewards, and there's a few reasons for that. So firstly, this is probably the most obvious one, but we want to attract as many people as possible to build on Immutable X. And the reason is that we know that network effects are really important for blockchains, especially for layer 2s right now. So we want to supercharge projects being built on the protocol. Secondly, we want to reward early adopters of the protocol. So as you probably know, we're still super early. So we want to say thank you to the builders on Immutable X. And then thirdly, we really want to get tokens into the hands of developers that are doing great things on Immutable X so they can further the development of their projects. So with that out of the way, let's get into the details. To break down the program, there are 4 reward tiers. And for each tier, a project is required to hit certain trading volume and community milestones. So in order to be eligible, the milestones need to be hit before the 30th of June, with special conditions for the Discord milestones, which I'll get into a little bit later. The first and highest tier is appropriately named LFG. In this tier, we're awarding up to 3 projects with 1 million IMX tokens if they hit $20 million US traded on the secondary market between April 1st and June 30th, plus community milestones of either 100,000 Twitter followers or 50,000 Discord members with 10,000 active members in the month of June. I'll explain a little bit more about what we mean by active members in a moment. This tier is a little bit different to the others, as we will only be awarding this tier to up to 3 projects, which will be given on a first come, first served basis. So if you're the 4th project to hit 20 million traders and say 100,000 Twitter followers, unfortunately, you won't be eligible for the LFG award. You'll be eligible for the next tier down. Having said that, we are incredibly excited to be able to offer an award of 1 million IMX tokens. This is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, publicly available token rewards for developers in crypto at the moment. And I'm personally incredibly pleased that we can offer it. And I'm pretty bullish that we'll have some projects that will hit this milestone. So really excited to see how that will go. The following tier down is the Wag Me Tier. So in this tier, we're offering a total of 500,000 IMX tokens to collections that achieve $1 million traded between April 1st and June 30th, plus hit community milestones of either 50,000 Twitter followers or 15,000 Discord members with 1,000 active users in June 2022. In this tier, it's a little bit different to the LFG tier, where the tokens are split equally amongst everyone who is eligible, up to a maximum of 50,000 tokens each. So if there are 9 projects that hit $1 million US traded and 50,000 Twitter followers, say, each project will get 50,000 tokens. But if there are 11 projects, they will receive 500,000 divided by 11, which I've previously calculated to be 45,454. So if there's any confusion about that, feel free to drop a question into the event text and we will follow up at the end. So the next tier is the GM tier. In this tier, there's a token pool of 100,000 IMX tokens, split equally amongst all collections that achieve this tier with a maximum possible reward of 5,000 tokens per project. So to achieve this tier, the projects need to have traded 100,000 USD between the 1st of April and 30th of June 2022, and you need to hit the same community milestones as the Wag Me tier, which are 50,000 Twitter followers or 15,000 Discord members with 1,000 active users in June 2022. We designed this tier to be kind of aspirational but achievable. So I'm hoping that a lot of projects will be able to claim this reward and get their IMX tokens to fund the development of their project. So the final tier is the Biddle Tier. There are a total of 100,000 IMX tokens up for grab in this tier, split equally between everyone who achieves this tier, with a maximum of 2,500 IMX tokens per collection. To claim this tier, you need to hit the trading milestone of 50,000 USD between April 1st and June 30th, and hit community milestones of either 25,000 Twitter followers or 5,000 total Discord members with 1,000 active users in the month of June. So to give you a bit of motivation, we already have had at least one project who's eligible for this tier, and we are 10 days in. So pretty excited about that. So I have spoken quite a bit about active Discord users. So I'm going to explain a little bit about that now. We want to see monthly active Discord members to ensure that your community is actually engaged and not just built based on hype. And so we will ask you to share a screenshot of your server engagement. If you want to know how to do this, you go to your server settings, click Server Insights, and then in Server Insights, go to Engagement, and then you can see your active user metrics there. So the final bit of information that I will share before we jump into the FAQs is the vesting period of the tokens. So for the LFG tier, tokens will vest monthly over 2 years. So this means that you'll get 1/24th of your tokens each month for 24 months. Wag Me Tier vests monthly over 1 year, then the GM and Biddle tiers vest in one lump sum. If you become eligible for one of the tiers, we'll reach out to you and explain this to you in detail as it applies to you. So I'm now going to go through some FAQs that we received from people in the community. And after that, we'll give you the chance to ask your own questions. So the first question we've received is, why is there a community requirement? And the reason for this is that we know that community size and engagement level is a critical indicator in the success of a project. So we want to incentivize projects to build their communities. Next one is, how do I claim the reward? And so basically you don't have to do anything in order to claim the award. As long as you've registered with the correct information when you're onboarded to Immutable X, there isn't an extra step to claim the reward. So we will send you an email within 14 days of the program closing to the email that was registered to your collection when you onboarded. We can't take responsibility for an inaccurate email address being entered. So please ensure that you enter the real, correct email address when you're onboarding your collection. Next question is, can projects that launched before the rewards program was announced claim the reward? And the answer to that is yes. So anyone who has onboarded to Immutable X, which means registering a contract on mainnet and minting on mainnet before the 1st of July 2022 can claim the reward. However, trading milestones only apply to trades that occur between the 1st of April and the 30th of June 2022. Next question is, can I claim multiple rewards? So for example, if my collection has hit the milestones for the GM reward tier, can I claim the GM and Biddle rewards? So no, you can't do this. You can only claim one reward. Continue with that example. If you hit milestones for the GM reward tier, you'll only get the GM reward tier, which is up to 5,000 IMX tokens. Having said that, for the LFG tier, it is a little bit different, which is that we are only awarding tokens to the first 3 projects to hit the milestones, and others will get the tier below that, which is the Wag Me award. Next question is, can I rally my community to trade back and forth in order to hit trading milestones? And the answer is no, you cannot do this. This is considered wash trading, which we will be looking for, and it will result in exclusion from the rewards program. Next question is, how do I build on Immutable X? To do this, you head to the Immutable X doc site, which you can find by Googling Immutable X documentation, which will show you everything you need to know as to how to build on Immutable X. As you're building, I'd highly suggest joining the Immutable X developer channel on Discord if you haven't already. I've found it's been a really useful resource for developers to help build their projects. And in addition to that, you can post questions on the Immutable X forum. I'll put a link to that in the event text once I've finished answering these questions. And we do have Immutable staff members who monitor that, so they can help you with your questions as you're going along. Next question is, do I have to meet the trading volume requirement and the community milestones in order to claim the reward tier? Yes, you do. You have to meet both requirements in order to claim the reward tier. Second to last question, the penultimate question is, are primary sales included in the trading volume requirements? And the answer to this is no. The trading volume requirements only refer to secondary trading on Immutable X layer 2. So when you do your drop and you initially sell to your community, that isn't counted, only secondary trading. My question is the trading volume all time or between a certain period? So I have mentioned this before, but I think it definitely bears repeating, which is that the trading volume refers only to trades that occur between the 1st of April and the 30th of June. Trades that happen before or after these dates do not count towards your total trading volume. So if you did $1 million in January, unfortunately that won't count. It's only between April 1st and June 30th. In terms of the Twitter and Discord member milestones, they're slightly different. So if you already have 100,000 Twitter followers, say, then you've hit the community milestone for the LFG tier. Obviously, you still need to hit the trading milestone, but the community milestones are cumulative. Which brings me to the end of the FAQ section. So Alina, do we have any questions from the event text?
Firstly, thanks so much for covering it in a very concise and straight to the point. If you just want to have a recap of what Millie just mentioned, especially about the rewards, the token unlock period, all the resources that she mentioned, you can find all of that in the text channel. Now, referring to some of the questions that you guys may have, I see one from Deathgun. And so, Millie, are you ready before I share it over?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay. So from Deathgun, it is mentioned in terms and condition Immutable X protocol fees are currently not active and won't be included in the value calculation of the total layer 2 NFT trades on IMX. My question is, when protocol fee launch, will there be no fee on those projects? What do you mean by reward early users? Can you give an example? So there are, I guess, two questions here. So we can probably just talk about the second last one first, which is about what do you mean by rewarding early users? Can you give an example?
So rewarding early users. So we want to basically, reward people that have come to Immutable X and said, we don't want to build on Ethereum. We want something that is like a better solution for us. And we want to say thank you for coming to build on Immutable X and reward them with the utility token of the Immutable X protocol, IMX. Does that answer your question? I think it's about like giving back to the community that has made the effort to build on Immutable X rather than another protocol, and say thanks for that.
Yeah, and I think adding on to that, it's not about just early users per se, but and also building on our protocol is like Millie has mentioned, the community aspect is really important, not about a community of Immutable X, but the project's community and making sure that they're not left behind and left in the dark and they as well get the priority that they deserve. So now moving on to the second question that Deathgun did mention was just about the protocol fee. So his was, when protocol fee launch, will there be no fee on those projects?
So the protocol fee will apply to
2 minutes.
in terms of the trading volume and how protocol fee affects that. I might just write that down as a question and then I will get back to you on that one. I can post it in the event text. But I don't want to give the wrong answer to that one. So let me get back to you on that.
All right, no worries. The next question is from Roughnecks Pax Custo. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. A lot of projects in the crypto space mint out based on hype, not necessarily utility or something that brings much needed change to the ecosystem. Keeping that in mind, most of these rewards are all based on projects minting out and meeting trading volume right after. The project that traded over 20 million USD already would have made a minimum 1 million USD just in royalties if it's 5%. My question is, do you plan to spread out or introduce some of these rewards to projects that have potential, uniqueness, and variety, which might be more beneficial to have within our ecosystem? as opposed to it just being based on Twitter followers, Discord members, and trading volume? I understand that it is not easy to measure. PS. Thank you for that question.
That's a good question. My brain's ticking and trying to think about how to the best way to answer this. So
Yeah, I mean,
I think for now, yeah, go,
oh yeah,
Elena.
sorry. I mean, there are currently two type of programs that we do. So one is this one, which is the Developer Launch Rewards, and the ones that we do every other month as well, that is being hosted by another team that you can see in our Discord time to time, which actually does focus on rewarding projects that are based on their uniqueness and their value that they actually bring to the ecosystem. And that is usually run through the staking program, if not staking program, excuse me, the voting program, where they need to just vote based on the projects that has been proposed. And so that's the other kind of programs that we do. That's one input that I can share. Millie, is there something else you want to add on?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, Elena. I think at the moment, like metrics of success that we do have in the short term for projects are trading volume, right? Like you can say a project has awesome potential, but if it doesn't eventuate by having a community that is engaged and that does, that trades the NFTs, then how is that potential realized in the short term? I think that's kind of an esoteric question. Which I don't necessarily have the answer to. So this is like a proxy of what we think in the short term, as in the next 3 months, is rewarding the most valuable projects to the protocol. I think it's a really good point, right? Like I love like this kind of concept of what is a good NFT project? How do we move past hype? It's something that we think about a lot, and this is the answer that we've come up with for now. But it's something that we'll think about in future iterations of the rewards program. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, and just to mention that this is the second version of the program. We are always looking to reintroduce this program in the future into V3, V4, and all of the comments that you guys have at the moment is going to greatly contribute to how we improve every time. So again, don't feel, be afraid to share your comments. It's going to be really helpful for us in the future. Now, moving on to the next question from MDG. Do you plan on making the event reoccurring? This period is a bit too short for us or too soon. Will we have an opportunity to join another event in the next few months?
Good question. I think we don't want to like commit to anything in stone at the moment. We will kind of come back to the community when we have other events planned. But we know that this is the case. Thank you for that comment. As Lena mentioned, the rewards have evolved over time. This is kind of the third kind of round of grants that we've done. And so there's, a very strong likelihood that we will do additional grants programs in the future.
And feel free to even comment below, what do you think is a better period that we should consider for the next round? We definitely want to hear what you have to say and see how we can do better next time. Then the next one is...
Thank you. Death Gun.
Okay, Death Gun. Sorry, I was just trying to read. First, you mentioned from 1st April, rewards are counted last 7 days. Book games had a volume of $7 million of volume. Do they qualify for Wag Me? And this is a great question.
No, they don't. So we have customers that we have pre-existing commercial arrangements with. One of those is obviously book games, and so they're not going to count. It's only projects that are built by the developer community that are going to be eligible for these rewards.
Then the next question is, not a question from Roughnecks. The community. Oh, okay. That's why I asked. No, no worries. Just going to take back from what I just said there. Max Powers' question is, any thoughts on whether Immutable X might offer the projects hosted on it with physical merch fulfillment or print on demand services? Not from Immutable X directly, of course, but with existing industry leaders. Many projects communities greatly desire the chance to rep their project's art. Being able to offer easy access to these services and products could be a powerful tool for projects.
That's really interesting. I like that feedback. So one of the things that we do for projects is try to offer them referrals. So like, oh, you need a developer, let us try and help you, introduce you to one. You need, a whiz bang marketer, let us try to introduce you. You need, whatever it is, let us try and introduce you. I hadn't heard of this idea before, but we will look into getting like a physical merch fulfillment, print on demand person on our like referral panel. I think that's a really cool idea, but currently, no, we don't do that. And we are a decentralized protocol, so it's ultimately like up to each project to decide how they want to take their IP and how they want to like engage with their community. But I do really love the idea.
Okay, we'll take about 3 more questions. If anybody still wants to share, I see Max Power is still typing, so let's give him a minute to type that out.
Oh, I've seen someone say that I was cutting in and out. Apologies if that was the case. If there's anything that was missed, let me know and I can typey it.
So the question from Max Power is, how much room do we have to build new services on Immutable X? Could someone make their own fulfillment service with Immutable X's blessing?
I mean, you can do things without our blessing, right? Like we encourage like the community to build as much as possible. We are, as I mentioned, like building up a panel of resources for developers that we can say, go talk to this person, and in this instance, go talk to this merch fulfillment provider. I think right now, it might not be. Well, I don't. Let's chat. I'll add you as a friend and shoot you a DM, and then we can chat about it.
Then the second last question is from Ironic Lemon. Part of our business model is that we buy back NFTs. Will the initial sale and the buyback count as NFT sale?
Oh, are you from Metaswap? Yes. Good question. I mean, it's a legitimate trade, right? Like, I mean, it's a utility project. And if there's legitimate utility behind the project, it's a bloody cool project, by the way. Then it's like a valid trade, and we won't consider it as wash trading.
Oh, okay. Deathgun, sorry, Millie, if you're okay to accept this final
Yeah,
question
yeah, all
from
good,
Deathgun.
of course.
Can we know how many projects have applied so far?
So there's no application process. We will look at all the trading volume at the end of the rewards period, and we'll be able to see automatically like who's qualified. So just if you onboard between the start of Immutable X in the past and the end of the rewards period, and you have the trading volume that is needed to get a reward, then you will automatically get the rewards. We'll send you an email. In terms of how many have actually achieved it so far. So we've had one project that has already 10 days into the program hit the milestones to get the Biddle reward, which is pretty exciting.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Let me know if that doesn't answer the question. I'll stay on for a few minutes and see if there's any other questions that pop up. But otherwise, thank you so much, everyone. It was great to chat with you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much, Millie, for kicking off this first session and handling all the questions that came through. Yeah, so again, we will do the other two core AMA sessions and we'll announce the date and time soon. If again you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the developer channel, which is in our Discord server. So Millie is going to be there available to answer any questions then as well. Thank you guys so much and have an awesome week ahead.